old school makeup tutorial YouTube videos are back in full effect. Let's go ahead and get into this.
She wanna know me. I stay low key, all gas, no brakes, baby. Let them hoes sleep. Body on 10, make your girl OD. I get in my way, never out of my lane. Feel like you the one and the more one. So what it's gonna be, baby, squad up.
I'm getting ready to go out with my boo for Cinco de Mayo, and it was about that time for a new get ready with me. So I said, let's go ahead and film this look before I run out the door, okay? I'm gonna show you how I achieved this full look from start to finish. I'm gonna walk you through every step. If you're not all caught up on my latest uploads, then you probably haven't seen me install this self-ease curly lace closure wig. I only have 2 more available on the website currently. Y'all have been buying this wig like crazy on the website. Y'all know how I feel about curly and big hair, and this one checks all the boxes for me, okay? It is my absolute favorite curly hair of all time. I will not be restocking this wig after it sells out on the website, so if you want this wig, now is the last time to catch it because there are only 2 left, y'all. So if you're interested in seeing how I did this makeup look or installed this wig today, y'all know what to do. Definitely stay tuned, and I'll leave timestamps in the description box down below in case you want to just check a portion of this video. So I'm getting ready to go out for Cinco de Mayo with my fiance. We're gonna go to a Mexican spot. So excited because I absolutely love Mexican food. Before we get into doing our makeup, I do need to do something to my hair. I'm gonna be installing my self-ease curly lace closure wig. It has a 5x5 HD lace closure on it. It is a completely glueless wig, but I will be securing her down because that's what I like to do. This is the hair fully brushed out, y'all. Like, she's a full wig, okay? So let me go ahead and put her on. I already did a full install. If you missed that, I'll leave a card up top for you guys. But I'm going to use a little bit of lace spray just to spray down the front of this wig really quick. Go ahead and pull the lace down into the spray. Next, I'm going to take a little bit of lace melting spray just around the front of the lace here. So I'm going to go ahead and melt the lace down with the melting band, and I'll be back. So I went ahead and melted the lace down, y'all. You can see like how big this hair is when you just brush it out and you don't use any like water or mousse to define the curls. Y'all know I love big hair, but we're going to go ahead and use a little bit of mousse just to tame her down today. I'm just going to use mousse today, no water. I've been doing like different styling options with this wig just to see what I like best. I definitely recommend, you know, you try out different styling options to see what works best because you just never know. So this is the Nairobi styling lotion. You can start to see the curls forming back together. I'm gonna make sure I go real good under here. So this is what one side looks like with just the mousse, and then this is completely brushed out. So you could definitely get a lot of different looks with this wig. You can straighten this hair too. I only have 2 more left on the website. Y'all have been buying this wig like crazy. I'm gonna leave a link down below for you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and add mousse on this side, and then we can go ahead and start our makeup. So how are y'all doing today? It's been a little minute since I did a get ready with me video. We're first gonna start with some eye cream. This is the Yerba Mate Wake Up Eye Gel. I'm putting this right underneath my eyes to prep them for concealer. Next, we're going to go ahead and get our brows prepped. This is the Anastasia Brow Freeze Gel. I really like using this on my brows. I don't have many, but it just like shapes them upwards the way that I like them to sit. So this product is perfect for me. And then I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Brow Laminating Gel, just the brush, because I really like the brush on this. And then I use the comb on the edges. So we're gonna let that dry for a second and I'll be back. For brows, I have been loving this NARS Brow Perfector pencil in the shade Atacama. It's their dark brown cool shade. I'm gonna use this on the outer 3/4 of my brow just to give them a better shape. This is very similar to the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil, but I find that this color is a little bit more cool toned. In the front of my brow, I'm going to use the Precisely My Brow Detailer in the shade number 4, and I always like to draw upwards on the front of my brow just to create little brow strokes. This is a bad brow day today, but it'd be like that sometimes. And I actually have somewhere to go, so I gotta just keep it pushing. This is the MAC Studio Finish Concealer in NC45. I'm gonna use that to clean up underneath my brows. And I only use this shade right underneath my brows. I'm going to use a different shade on my lids. Then I'm going to take the shade NW43. We're going to use this all over the lids to cancel out the discoloration there. Y'all should already know how your girl likes to do it. If you don't have discoloration on your lids like me, you could just use an eye primer. You don't have to use concealer here, but concealer is a must for me. And then I'm going to blend it out with this big fluffy brush. Next, I'm going to take this One Size setting powder in the shade Sweet Honey, and I'm going to use that to set the concealer so it doesn't move and the shadows will glide over it seamlessly. I know you can't get this palette anymore, but if you already have it, pull it out. This is the ABH Amrezy palette. I really wanted to use this Barb shade today, so yeah, that's why I'm using this palette. But I'm first going to start off with the shade New Yorker, which is like a yellow tone mid brown shade. I'm going to pop that in my upper crease just to sculpt that area out a bit. Next, I'm going to take the shade 1988, which is like a darker chocolate brown matte shade, and I'm going to apply this in my crease. I'm not going as high as the last shade, but I am using this to define my crease. I'm also not going all the way in my eye. I'm going about 3/4 in, and I'm using a more defined brush for this so it stays in the region that I want it to stay in. I hope that makes sense. Then I'll go back in with my brush just to blend out the edges. Next, I'm going to go in with that Barb shade, which is the main shade I wanted to use, and I'm going to apply this all over the lid. It is such a pretty color, y'all. It looks pink in the pan, but when I apply it on my lid, it's got different reflex colors. So it comes out looking like gold. There's definitely some like green in there. It has a nice shift to it. So the eye look is definitely starting to come together. Next, I'm going to go in with the MAC Studio Fix powder. This is the original formula. I still haven't tried the new one, and I'm going to use this underneath my brow as a highlight to set that concealer there in place. Next, we're going to do some wing liner, of course. This is the Too Faced Better Than Sex liner, one of my faves whenever I want like a nice black liner. One thing I always do is start with the wing because I feel like the wing is the hardest part. So if you go ahead and get it out the way, then the rest is easy. There we go. Next, I'm going to tightline with this Urban Decay 24/7 liner in the shade 0. It's just a black liner. I really like going in with a liner on my tightline. It just makes the lash line a little bit more bold. I like to do my lashes after I finish my full face of makeup, so I'm just going to go in with the L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara to prep for lashes. So you don't need to go crazy here unless you don't like wearing lashes, and if you don't, then just go crazy with your mascara right now. Next, I'm going to take my Smashbox Primer Water. I know you can't get this anymore. I'm literally on the last few drops in this bottle. I finally got more of my NYX Plump Right Back Primer. I absolutely love this stuff. I didn't have any for a little while. Just purchased some more this past weekend. This is like one of my favorite primers currently. This really helps to plump the skin up and prep it for makeup. So next I'm going in with the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Primer, and I use this primer on my T-zone area only. This is just to get rid of any pores, and I find that it also helps with oil as well, for me at least. I only get oily like in this T-zone area, so I like using this in the center of my face. I also like using it right here over smile lines because my smile lines are outrageous. I laugh and I smile a lot. I go around my nose with it as well. For foundation today, I'm going in with one of my faves, the NARS Natural Radiant foundation. This one never fails me, and I want to look cute for our little dates. So yeah, I'm using the shade Manis in this today. I have like 4 different shades of this foundation, and I use a different shade just depending on like what color my skin is at the time. And sometimes I mix shades to get my perfect one, but currently this one is pretty good. It's a cool tone shade, believe it or not. I thought that I was always warm tone, but I can get away with some cool shades. It just depends on like the time of the year and everything. So yeah, I'm really liking this shade currently. You can't tell me this foundation, the finish and everything doesn't look bomb AF, because it freaking does. That foundation is worth every penny. If you still have not tried it, try it, okay? You won't regret it. For concealer today, I'm going to use my Tarte Shape Tape concealers because these just work for me and my skin type. I'm using the shade Deep first. I'm putting that pretty much everywhere. So underneath my eyes, in the front, this outer corner, I'm taking it on the tip of my nose, down my nose, right here on my forehead, above my lip, and right here on my chin, okay? And then I'm taking the shade Tan Deep Sand right here on the front, just to add a little bit more brightness to the front of my eyes. Now I do like my concealer to dry for a little bit before I start blending it out. It's a lot easier. So I'm gonna go in with my contour now, my bronzer, and this is my Made by Mitchell Curve case. Absolutely love this. This is the second to last darkest shade, and I like using this top shade up here. The shade has a red tone to it, and I really like it for a bronzer. So I'm going to take that on my forehead up here. I'm going to take that right here on my cheekbone. I'm also going to take it right here on my jawline. I'm also going to take a little bit down the bridge of my nose, being very careful to try not to disturb that concealer there. It's actually easier to do this before you put the concealer down, but I just forgot today. So let's start blending out the concealer now. This is my Pro Beauty Blender. I love this one for blending out my concealer. It's a lot easier to start blending the concealer out once it's been sitting for a while, y'all. And then I like to take my foundation brush to go around the edges as well, just for a seamless blend. Blend out my nose, go up my forehead, and then always go around the edges with your foundation brush for that seamless finish. So let's start blending out the under eye area. This is the most important step for me because I feel like if this doesn't turn out good, the rest of my makeup is just like messed up. So this step is a major key for me. So before I blend out the other side, I'm going to quickly go in with this One Size Girly Pop blush. I'm going to be using the cream part of it up top and just apply this here to give me some color on the cheeks. I was doing the cream blush before I do my concealer, but I honestly like it after better. Make sure you blend out any creases before you set your under eye makeup. That's major key. I'm going to use my One Size setting powder in Sweet Honey to set right here. This combo works for me every time so flawlessly. So while my under eye is baking, I'm going to go in with the MAC Studio Fix powder in NC 44.5. And I'm going to set everywhere where we highlighted. So pretty much down the middle of the face. And then I'm going to take my MAC Studio Fix powder in the shade NC55 and apply this to the rest of the face just to set it in place. This gives me such a flawless full coverage that I love. Have any of you tried the new Studio Fix powder? If so, do you like it better than the old powder? I feel like a lot of people don't like it, so I'm kind of scared to try the new one, to be honest. Let's go ahead and do the lips. I'm going to start off with this ColourPop Lippy Pencil in the shade Chain Reaction. And I do like to go like around the edge of my lip, so I'm overlining just slightly. Next, I'm going to take the MAC Maximal lipstick in the shade Cool Teddy, and I'm going to use that in the inner part of my lip. This shade is so pretty to me. And lastly, I'm going to take the Huda Beauty Faux Filler Lip Gloss in the shade Sugar Baby right here on the inner part of my lip. Let's do a little bronzer next. My bronzer is totally messed up. It's like all crunched up. I still have no idea how it happened. It happened when I first bought this, so it was like, This is the MAC Sunstruck Bronzer in the shade Rich Rosé. This is the matte one, and I absolutely love this shade for bronzing my entire face. So I'm going to put this everywhere where we applied that Made by Mitchell curve case just to set everything in place. I'm also going to take a little bit on my nose right here. Next, I'm going to take this NARS blush in the shade Dominant and apply this over that cream blush. You could use the blush that is from the Girly Pop palette, the powder blush, but I just like this one a little bit more. It's like a little bit more subtle and it's not as cool tone, so it looks a little bit more natural on me, but both are very beautiful shades. So let's finish up the eyes. I'm going to take this New Yorker shade again, and we're going to use this underneath the lash line now. And then I'm going to take that shade 1988. We're going to apply this to the outer one half of the bottom lash line just to add a little more definition there. Next, I'm taking the MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara, and I'm going to use this on my bottom lashes just to add some boldness there. Y'all know how I feel about bottom lash mascara. It's a must for me. Let's go ahead and apply lashes. I don't know the styles of these off the top of my head. I don't have the box in front of me. I've already wore these lashes before, but I will link them for y'all in the video per usual. And I'm also using a different lash glue. I'm using the Eye Envy by Kiss Super Strong Hold Eyelash Adhesive in Clear, and it's pretty good once the glue gets like nice and tacky. I just like to push it in to make sure it's in there. So lastly, I'm going to take a little bit of this MAC Fix Plus spray and use this just to melt all the powders and stuff in my skin. This makeup look turned out freaking flawless, and coupled with the Southeast curly wig, it is everything. Do not forget to check out the website. I'm going to leave it down below. Every time a wig sells out on my website, someone always emails me and asks me if I'm bringing it back. No, ma'am. These are the last 2 wigs. I will not be restocking it. If you would like to see more detailed makeup tutorials like this one, y'all know what to do. Definitely thumbs up this video. I really appreciate all of your continued love and support. If you haven't already checked out my latest video, you actually get to meet my mom, and I install a wig on her for the first time in her life. You definitely have to catch her reaction. I'm going to leave the link right here. Make sure y'all go check that out next and show some love.